Welcome into NHL Tonight, first shift for Thursday, October the 16th, 2025. EJ Hradek here alongside Dave Reid making his season debut here on First Shift.
Yeah, it's nice to be back, Each.
Good to have you back.
Talking hockey once again.
Good to have you back. How was the summer? Everything good?
Summer was good.
All right. You got the nice little NHL Network, pull over there, whatever you got. Zip up.
I think the last time I wore the zip up was on the first shift last year.
Okay, well there you go.
It's special just for this show only.
All right, well let's bring
1 hour.
Let's bring in our producer Sam Wild. Sam, how are you today? Everything good back behind the scenes?
Everything's great back here. I could use a little bit of swag that Dave Reid's got on.
I know.
Maybe in a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe after the show we'll talk about it.
All right,
another 10 years. Another 10 years with the network. And you too will get a pullover.
That's right.
You too will get a hoodie.
Or
you
get a plastic cup, something like that. I don't even.
Backpack, an umbrella, something.
Yeah, something. All right, let's get to the show. Let's get to first things first because we had 4 games on the docket last night, including the home opener for the Utah Mammoth. Yes, they unveiled
the birth of the Mammoth.
The mascot,
Nice.
Tusky.
Love it.
I can't believe Tony Luffman got the night off. It's amazing. All right, let's get to the game. J.J. Peterka comes up with a big goal in that one. They end up beating the Calgary Flames. Good for the Mammoth. And how about this shot on the goal by Peterka, who just came in from Buffalo this season, signed a new contract. There's the owner, Ryan Smith. Of course, Ryan and Ashley Smith own the Utah Mammoth. There's Ryan. He's pumped up, sitting right on the glass. I love that. Great image there for the Utah Mammoth, their owner, their new goal-scoring forward they brought in. What's the outlook in your mind for the Mammoth this year?
Well, they need to make the playoffs. It's going to be difficult, and I'm not one to say, this team's going to be in, this team's going to be out, but this is a team that was so close last year, and maybe the addition of J.J. Peterka, maybe the addition of a little bit extra depth scoring, and nothing better than when you sign with a team, your first home game, and you get a goal in that game in front of the home fans. That's exactly what you need to do. 89 points is a decent season. Well, you've got to now build on that. This is a team.
You're going to need more to get to the playoffs.
They are, but they're going to need more scoring. I think their team defense, a lot's going to be on Carl Vejmelka, and that is going to be a lot of responsibility put on the goaltender. But this is a team, and the National Hockey League is getting to be more of a scoring league now. Yes, you need to know how to play defense, but you need to have scoring throughout your lineup. And I look at the lineup, and you're looking at the Mammoth lineup. Dylan Guenther, that should be a heck of a line with Cooley. That is a young, powerful line. This is a team that should be able to score top to bottom. And that's how you get in the playoffs. You are going to need to play defense in the playoffs, but to get in the playoffs, you're going to need to score goals. We're starting to see 5 and 6 goals a night is going to win you hockey games. It's a lot more difficult than trying to win games 3-2 as it used to be. You're starting to see the 4-3 games, the 5-3 games, and Utah can score. And if they continue to score, I think that that's how they're going to get themselves in the playoffs.
All right, a programming note. I like saying stuff like that. So official. J.J. Peterka will be joining us on NHL Now, 6:15 Eastern Time, so stay tuned for that. Looking forward to that. We have Spencer Carbery coming up soon, joining us here, the head coach of the Washington Capitals. So we got a big day here at the NHL Network. But for Utah, this is the problem for me, Reader. They make the move last year, right? They've had a lot of these good young players in their system for a while now, and they're young, so we understand that. You get to Utah, there's all this excitement. I remember being in Dallas when the Minnesota North Stars arrived in town, and there's all the excitement, and everything's new, and people are, you're revved up right from the start. I thought last year would be a year that they could push off that and maybe sneak into a playoff spot, and they had a decent start, and then they just kind of petered out like they've done in a couple of years. So that's my concern, is I have to see it. I like a lot of their players. I like Cooley. I think he's going to be a good player. Guenther, I think, is going to be a real good goal scorer in this league. But can they keep enough pucks out of the net? Can they defend well enough? And can they get through that grind in the middle of the season when it's harder?
Yeah, there's a lot going on when you have to move. Now, I wasn't on that Dallas team, but you talk to players who move. You're moving from, and not a lot of teams move from one city to another.
That's right.
in the off season. So everything's brand new. You get comfortable in a certain situation, and I'm not using any excuses here for Utah or the players there, but this season, everybody's fresh. Everybody knows exactly what's going on. No, so this is the year that they have to take that step because there are no distractions. There's no, it was exciting. I'm sure there was tremendous excitement throughout the whole season, but now it's, okay, guys, we're in place. Everybody's got their homes. Everybody knows the route to the rink. Everybody knows their familiarity with what you're going to do in a game day, where practice is, who the reporters are, who your neighbors are, what the team's all about, what the new ownership is all about, and away we go. This is the year that Bill Armstrong is going to be under a lot of pressure as general manager to get this team to that next level, and the next level is getting them into the playoffs.
Yeah, as well as Andre Tournier,
Yes,
the head
no
coach
question.
who's been there
No
a couple of
question,
years.
yes.
I mean, coaches in this league, they come and go quick. So he's the guy that the players like there, but you have to start producing victories.
They're going to score. They're going to score goals.
I agree.
I think this is.
They should.
They're going to score goals.
They should.
They've got the talent to score goals, and in today's game, you need to score to get in.
And they added Vitek Vanacek as the number 2 there, so maybe that 1-2 punch will help them. We'll see how things go, but congratulations to the Mammoth on their home opening victory in the new season, so we'll see where things go there. Also last night, the Detroit Red Wings, another win. That's 3 in a row for the Wings. Look at Patrick Kane. He made that look too easy, beating Sergei Bobrovsky. Look at that again, Reader.
That's a no look. You're thinking, I mean, he's so good at getting it across to DeBrincat, and he can throw it between legs over sticks. And Bob, I might have been thinking
he was crossed up. I think he was crossed up. You just look at his reaction there.
But Kane doesn't even look. He's not even looking where he's shooting. He just knows where he is on the ice, and that was a perfect shot. I mean, he's still got it. He's still got the hands. This is incredible. And I got to admit, I'm a little biased to Mike Modano. I mean, he did help me get my first cup.
One of your former teammates.
One of the best ever players I've played with, and to be able to get past Mike Modano would be absolutely an incredible record. And when you look at the games played, Patrick Kane's done it in less games. So Patrick Kane, I'm sure he's looking at possibly playing in the Olympics this year. And he came off of a very difficult hip surgery that really usually takes a step away from you. I don't think Patrick Kane's lost that step. I mean, he's still got the hands. I was watching this game yesterday. He beat Forsling up the ice. And Forsling's a good defenseman, and he can move. Now, Forsling, yes, he's going backwards, but he turns. But watch Kane. He gets the extra step, and then he outmuscles Forsling, and he's like, okay, I'll just take this puck. Forsling's a very good defenseman.
Yes,
and he went by him
he
went by him like, he's got an extra step, but watch. Forsling should be at full speed right about now, but he's not. He's trying to block him out, and he just, Kane was like, that looks like a veteran going against a young kid.
Yeah.
And that showed me, it's like, wow, he's still got that extra burst. He's still got the step. He's never going to lose the hands.
Yeah.
He'll have the hands when he's 60 playing in the men's league.
Yes, he will.
Dangling and
70 maybe.
He can still do that. But to be able to get to that level of playing in the Olympics and representing country, which I'm sure he wants to do, he's done before, he is going to look at it and say, I need to have a great year. I need to let everybody know that I'm
in the mix.
I'm in the mix. But you've got to be able to skate.
Yeah.
You just can't get out there and say, okay, on the Olympic team, we talk about it, everybody's going to have a designation as a player on the team.
Yeah.
What's your role on the team? What's Patrick Kane's role on the team? It's not as though it's a National Hockey League team, because are you going to be a power play guy? Are you going to be a penalty killing guy? A third-line player in an Olympic team is not necessarily going to have to score goals. You're going to have to be able to get the puck out. You're going to have to be able to get the puck deep. You're going to have to create energy. Well, Patrick Kane's thinking, I can do whatever you want. I just need to let everybody know that I can still skate at the same level, I can play at that level.
I want to be in the conversation.
Absolutely. He's had a good start. He's still got the hands. He's always fun to watch.
494 career goals for Kane, so he's inching up on 500 goals as well. One of the great American-born players, and we'll be keeping an eye on that chase as he moves and inches closer to Mike Modano. I think it's 26 points to tie right now. Good chance he gets there this year. The Wings have won 3 in a row, and they had that really tough loss on home ice in the opener. And right off the bat, Todd McClellan called those guys out. I thought that was really smart of McClellan. Let's play it again and hear what Todd said after that first game.
We just played the game. We didn't play to win the game, and we have no chance. And the players will say, they probably have already said to you that, we can fix this, when it's time. Some of them have been doing it for years. It's time. We just spent 3.5 weeks at training camp dealing with these situations. Now, if it happened once or twice in a game, it'd be okay, but there's 6 or 7 outnumbered rushes at the end of the first period from the 10-minute mark on, and it's unacceptable. We'll have to drill it back into them.
And that was after the opening night loss to the Montreal Canadiens when they got schooled on home ice. I love that because the Red Wings have won nothing for several years now. They have been nowhere, nothing. And I just hate when teams like that come out and it's right away. Now, they didn't get great goaltending that night, but I mean, Todd McClellan's a veteran coach. He's there to win. And he immediately jumped right on it, Reader. I love that. And the team has reacted well, and the goaltending has improved. But, like, the Red Wings, the playoffs have started for the Red Wings.
Yes. And that, I think that's the key point, is the playoffs have started not, we're not worried about winning a Stanley Cup. We got to get in the playoffs.
Got to get in.
And you have to have that mentality from day one, because you can't leave points on the board in October when you're hitting March and April going, we only need a couple more points. Well, guess what? You weren't ready in these games. And it falls as much on the coaching as the players. But this is a team that is desperate to get in. And desperate means desperate from the first game of the season. And give Cam Talbot a lot of credit in this. John Gibson came in, and I think they've got a very good 1-2 punch in Detroit. Probably the best goaltending tandem we've seen in Detroit in a long time. And I think that's what's probably going to get them into the playoffs. They're going to be able to score goals. Their power play is always in the top 5 of the National Hockey League. They've got the skill there. They've learned how to defend under Todd McLellan. This is a team that will defend much better, but they also need to have the big stop when you need it. Cam Talbot has done that on this winning streak. He was tremendous in Toronto. He shut down Toronto.
That's stolen points right there. Stole 2 points.
They are. But that's getting back to Todd McLellan. The comments from your head coach to send that message early to the players. It's like, guys, wake it up. We're waking up right away. We're not waiting. We're not a team that's like, it was a slow start. That's okay. We did a lot of good things. Yeah. It's like, no, we didn't do a lot of good things. We weren't ready to go. And I like it because this is a team, and you look where they are in the history of the National Hockey League. The Detroit Red Wings, for years, 20 years, when I was playing,
25 years in a row, they made the playoffs.
They not just make the playoffs, but they were expected to win.
Like
and now it's like, okay, guys, we've got some good things going on here. We've got some good goaltending going. Yes, Gibson didn't have the start he wanted, but neither did the rest of the team in front of him. So I like what's going on in Detroit, and I like it when a coach says right away, it's accountability, and the players hold each other accountable. The coaches hold players accountable. And, soon the fans are going to be holding management, everybody accountable in Detroit. And it's like, let's get this going. I think it's great. And guess what? It worked.
That's right. Now, listen, I don't like it. I love it. You got to get going right from the start when your team has been nowhere for the last several years. All right, let's get to tonight. We got 11 games on the docket, including this one out in Vegas, the Boston Bruins and the Vegas Golden Knights. Bruins starting a short but difficult road trip. 3 games in 4 days. They got Colorado, they got Utah, and it starts in Vegas tonight. You can see the schedule there. Jack Eichel for the Golden Knights, leading the league, tied with Kirill Kaprizov with 9 points. Got a 4-game point streak to start things off, so he's rolling. And we got some news today out of Vegas, and interesting news that Carter Hart will join the Vegas Knights Golden Knights organization. He will not be able to play in the National Hockey League in December 1st. He's still suspended as part of that group that got into trouble and ended up having to go through the court system. They were eventually, it was adjudicated, they were acquitted. So those guys are now eligible to come back on December 1st. This is the first guy to sign. And he's signing what they say is that, it's a PTO. It's a tryout contract. So this is how it works for Carter Hart. He can practice. He cannot play in the NHL until the 1st of December, and it'll be December 2nd in the case of Vegas. He cannot go to the American Hockey League for a conditioning stint until November the 15th. So there's some hurdles here for him to go through. And with the PTO, the Vegas Golden Knights can kind of keep an eye on him a little bit, make sure he's in good shape, make sure he can play. Also, by not signing him to a contract until they actually have to, they can save money against the cap, so there's a number of things. But Carter Hart has not played in an NHL game since January the 20th, 2024. And oddly enough, it was an NHL Network showcase game that I called against Colorado. Played 40 minutes, allowed 5 goals on 15 shots. Over his career, he's had some ups and downs. He played behind some teams in Philadelphia that, quite frankly, weren't that good. The last year he played, .906 save percentage, and that's his career save percentage, .906 as well. So the Vegas Golden Knights, who have Adin Hill, they have Kara Schmid, but they feel like they need more depth in goal. They go down this path, and Carter Hart will be a Vegas Golden Knight if all goes well, and he starts on a PTO.
Carl Lindbaum, I believe, is her 3rd goaltender. Yeah. So depth is a situation that everybody needs. Carter Hart is a proven goaltender in the National Hockey League, and he's proven even in Philadelphia that he can play and he can contribute. With the time that he's had off, you can practice all you want, but you need to get into games. So I would expect him to get down and start in the American Hockey League in November. Vegas is a different team than Philadelphia. They got a different defensive structure, and as we've seen, Aiden Hill's already been taken out of a game due to injury.
Yeah.
Akira Schmid came into that game.
And
They're
Schmid's
playing-
going to start tonight.
Schmid will start tonight, and it looks like Hill's going to be backed up. I haven't seen if anybody's been called up for the game, so you can't have enough goaltending in your organization.
And there's the numbers. It has been a struggle for Aiden Hill, and it was a struggle for Aiden Hill on and off last year as well. Now remember, he's got that Stanley Cup in his pocket from getting that done a couple of years ago, but it hasn't been.
What have you done for me lately? It's professional
That's
sports.
right.
National Hockey League's no difference. What have you done for me lately? Yes, we love you for that, but you've got to keep it up. And in any situation, any position, especially goaltending, you can't go into the playoffs questioning goaltending. And you hate to bring up Stuart Skinner, but the Edmonton Oilers, it was always, well, what are they going to do in goal? What are they going to do in goal? Well, Stuart Skinner played pretty well against the New York Rangers the other night. He's a good National Hockey League goaltender, but just because he didn't win the big game, but you have to have depth. You have to be able to fall back.
Especially now, you have to have depth in your organization. So Aiden Hill will be there. Schmid has played well when called upon. And then I would imagine they're hoping by doing this that Carter Hart, come December, will be able to earn a spot within their group and be part of their goaltending depth. So we'll see how it plays out.
Akira Schmid is he's a reliever, though, isn't he? His stats.
Yeah.
His stats when he comes off the bench. Have been remarkable. .965 save percentage. We're baseball playoffs. We're in the
Well, maybe with Akira Schmid, you just have him as he's like a baseball, a bullpen game. Right?
I've never seen a stat like
bench.
this. I was talking to Brian Boyle last night. We were watching the Red Wings Florida game, and he was talking. And we're talking to goaltending and this, and it's Vegas and what's going on. And he brought that up. He said, I was talking to Ken Danico, and Schmid was in Jersey. It was like, the kid's incredible when he comes off the bench. I've never seen that stat. Now, not that maybe it's if you're going to be a starter, maybe you get a little nervous. I've seen goaltenders get very nervous when they know they're going to start. A lot of teams would say, I'm going to tell you late at night before you, or maybe the first thing in the morning. But maybe with Schmid, it's like you tell him as he gets to the rink, oh, hey, by the way, you're starting tonight. But that's a pretty cool stat.
Interesting number. So he gets to start tonight against the Boston Bruins, one of 11 games on the docket. We come back. Finally, Spencer Carbery, the head coach of the Washington Capitals, the coach of the year last year. He's going to stop by to join us. That's next on First Shift.
On the move, Wilson. Does a lap in the offensive zone. Backdoor. Checked in. Off the feed from Wilson. The Caps win it in overtime.
The speed in which Tom Wilson attacks the zone puts Tampa back on their heels. Jacob Chikrin, the game-winning goal, a beautiful feed from Tom Wilson. And the Caps win 3-2.
And that was the third straight win for the Washington Capitals, who have won 3 of their first 4 games. And with that, we bring in their head coach. It's a big day here on First Shift. We've been trying to get Spencer Carbery for a couple of years. We got him. We've corralled him. We've got him for a few minutes. Spencer, thanks so much. Congratulations on all the good stuff in D.C., winning Coach of the Year last year. I want to start, though, by asking you kind of a bigger picture question about coaching. I remember talking to Barry Melrose years ago, and he said something that always resonated. It's not what I say, it's what they hear. You're into your 3rd year now, so you're trying to send, I guess, a different message and keep it fresh all the time. How much of a challenge is that for you?
It's an everyday challenge of trying to continue to deliver messages in different ways, try to keep things fresh, because I couldn't agree more with that, especially as, you have the same personnel 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. It's something that I believe you have to pay attention to, and whether that's changing up a few drills, a different pre-scout, a different way of delivering a message, I think that is important. So even just with your overall theme for the season, trying to keep that fresh, some of the terminology that you use, I try to incorporate that as much as I can.
Well, Spencer, you've got Alexander Ovechkin. You talk about keeping it fresh. This guy seems to keep it fresh on a regular basis. Coming into this season, last year was such a fantastic year, setting the record, breaking Wayne Gretzky's record, most goals. This year, is there a different mindset maybe for Ovi coming into this year, or are you seeing a lot of what you saw last year?
I think it's the same mindset. I think there's a little bit of I don't want to say pressure let off, but you can definitely feel that, the record was broken, and all the elation and everything that went into last year and around the chase. It was a lot every single day, even on non-game days. It was just constant. We're talking about it. You could feel it. He was fielding questions. And so this year feels definitely a little bit different for him individually and on a personal level, but I still like in and around the rink. He's still he has so much fun and brings so much enthusiasm and energy to the locker room, to practice, to his teammates. He's always the center of attention and right in the mix with the guys. So that hasn't changed one bit, but you can feel it does feel a little bit different. Now hopefully we can get him rolling here with a couple of goals pretty quick here.
Spencer, last year I got the sense you guys wanted to kind of fly under the radar a little bit. You guys, you got out to a great start. It was like, I would say about 2/3 of the season, it was just nothing could go wrong. I mean, you guys were just flying. Even Ovi got hurt. You were playing well. Last third, more of a struggle. You win a round of the playoffs. You lose to Carolina. Now you come into this year, hard to fly under the radar. You had such a great season last year. What are the challenges in getting better this year and building on last year? What are the things? Because you had so many guys last year who had career years. They call it that for a reason. What are the challenges to be better this year?
Yeah, that's literally just it. And we've embraced that and talked about it as a group, is we have to raise the bar. We have to find another level. And you might think, well, how are we supposed to do that? We had 10 or 12 guys that had career years, but whether it's myself as a coach or Jacob Chychrun that signed a long-term deal and had 20 goals last year, or Alexei Protas or Alex Ovechkin or John Carl, like we took positive steps last year, got to the second round for the first time since 2018, felt like we were getting back into that true Stanley Cup contender sort of conversation. And now we felt in the second round like we're not there yet. We need to get to another level to really feel like we can, win a series against the Carolina, the Floridas, the Edmontons of the world. And so that's the challenge, is literally coming back in and going, all right, it's my job to push the group, and it's our job, everybody, to expect more from themselves than what they were able to deliver last year.
Now, Spencer, going on that, expecting more from yourselves, Tom Wilson off to a fantastic start. And with the Olympics coming up, you've got 2 players, well, 3 players really, include Logan Thompson, your goaltender. You got Tom Wilson, and you've got John Carlson, 2 players that a lot of people thought should have been in the 4 Nations, and Logan Thompson could have been there for Canada as well. Do you think that having the Olympics and really the tryouts for the Olympics coming up, do you think that's maybe pushing a couple of your guys a little more this year, and they can use that as good motivation?
I definitely do. It's definitely in the back of players' mind. Rasmus Sandin for Team Sweden is another potential candidate for the Swedish Olympic team. Obviously, Logan Thompson. John was left off the summer, whatever they called that, the evaluation, or which was sort of disappointing to see. But they can definitely feel it, and they want to get off to good starts. And there's a lot of eyeballs from different general managers and the assistant GMs that are running all the national Olympic teams. So, but I will say this: like they know what's going on, but they also once the puck drops and the game starts, they're very good at blocking the noise out and just focusing on what they need to do inside of our team game.
How about John Carlson? Because, he's somebody I think has been perennially overlooked. I don't know if that's the right word. I know that he just comes and goes. He just comes to play. He's not someone that seeks the spotlight, really. And with Alex there for so many years and Nick Backstrom, but he's still playing close to 25 minutes a game, 24 minutes a game for you guys. You've had him now for 3 years. How valuable, how important is he to your team?
He's an absolute rock back there, and you're spot on with your assessment. He flies under the radar and sometimes goes unappreciated, I think, to exactly your point, because Alex has been here his entire career, and the Nick Backstroms of the world, and Ocean, and so he's kind of not got maybe as much accolades as if he were somewhere else. But what I will tell you is the last 3 years that I've been here, and this is something that I think his defensive game and his ability to play on the penalty kill and against other teams' top lines is fantastic. And so you combine that, everybody thinks of him as, oh, he ran the great power play, he was a power play quarterback. Yeah, he has that part to his game, but he also has this incredible defensive game. He's such an intelligent defender, can read plays, has a great stick. And so we rely on him almost more so in that department over the last 3 years, and he's excelled tremendously at that.
Spencer, you've got a great mix on your team of youth and experience. And you've got a young guy, Ryan Leonard, coming in. Yeah. We've seen Alexi Protas, the growth that he's had, and Connor McMichael, the way he's elevated his game. What are your expectations with the young Ryan Leonard? And this is, you're a team that is pushing to win a Stanley Cup. I mean, you want to take that next step. Ryan Leonard showed last year when he came in that he's ready to go. He can skate, he can shoot. What are your expectations of this young man this year?
So mine, I've tried to really curb them with Leno and be focused. Really, it is not easy to develop in the National Hockey League, coming straight to this league, the best league in the world, and spending no time in the American Hockey League. Now, he has that type of talent, and he's earned that opportunity and deserves to be in the NHL. So I'm focused on a lot of the development things that you would use in the American League of forming good habits, making sure that you understand situations on the ice in different areas and time and score and all these things, and be patient and be patient. That's what I keep stressing to him, because these young players, especially like Leno, he's been so good on the world stage at BC. This league is tough every single night, and it at times is relentless on you as a young player, and it's going to take some time. And so there's zero expectations I put on him from a production standpoint, from a scoring standpoint. I just want him to develop good habits. And even on a team that is expecting to win, also that's going to come with, potentially not playing on the first unit power play right away. It may have to wait a little bit for that to come to fruition. Maybe playing third line as opposed to top six. So those are things that we've really focused with Leno on, and he's done a great job. He had a good training camp and has been good thus far through the first 4 games. All
right, Spencer, you're a Western Canadian kid, grew up, I think, in Victoria, BC, which seems like a beautiful place to grow up. I mean, you played some U.S. college hockey. You played for several years in the minors, and you played your first year, I think, pro was Tulsa in the old CHL. What the heck was going on for Spencer Carbery as a young man in Tulsa, Oklahoma with the Tulsa Oilers?
We were playing the Shreveport Mudbugs and the Amarillo Gorillas.
Yeah.
Some throwbacks. I'll tell you a funny story. We had a huge rivalry. That was my rookie year.
Yep.
Hockey. I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we had this rivalry with the Oklahoma City Blazers at the time. And I'll never forget this. I look at the schedule. I'm like, December 25th, a Christmas game in Oklahoma City. What? So we bus, and I'm like, there's going to be no one at this game. Christmas Day is going to be 500 people. They played in the NBA rink back in the time the Oklahoma City team did, and it was sold out Christmas evening, 5 o'clock start, 10,000 people, Oklahoma City Blazers versus the Tulsa Oilers in the Central Hockey League.
Wow. How did you get the better of them? I mean, what happened?
We must have played them probably 15 times that season. So we got very familiar with them.
Very, very familiar. Well, listen.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah, exactly. A very, very special Merry Christmas. Spencer, thanks so much for the time today. Hopefully we'll get you back on. And those are the great stories, right? That's hockey. I mean, because you really worked your way through playing and then into the coaching for many years. So I'm really happy for you. You've had this success. You made it all the way to the National Hockey League. But never forget about those special Christmases in Oklahoma.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
All right. Spencer Carbery, the head coach of the Washington Capitals. We come back. Going to talk a little bit about the Anaheim Ducks taking on the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. That should be a good one out on the West Coast. That's next on First Shift. busy Thursday night around the league. Let's take a look at the schedule. We got 6 games all starting at 7 p.m. Rangers, Leafs, Preds, Canadians, Kraken, Senators, Panthers and Devils. I'll be at that one at the Rock. Jets and Flyers in Philly, and then the Avalanche and Blue Jackets. And Scott Wedgwood playing really good in goal for the Avalanche right now. .935 save percentage. He'll be in net tonight. 7:30, Oilers and Islanders. 8 o'clock, Canucks and Stars. 10 o'clock, Bruins, Golden Knights. Also got the Canes and Ducks, and Penguins and Kings. And Andrei Kopitar game time decision in that one. We'll see if he can go tonight against Sidney Crosby. Let's start with the Rangers and the Leafs in Toronto. You can see the Rangers on the road, no problem. No problem. Home, can't score. So they're happy to be in Toronto tonight. Toronto power play, not good to start the season. 0 for 8. Only the Canucks and the Leafs don't have a power play goal. And Austin Matthews, you can see, pretty good against the New York Rangers in those last 15 games. So, Reader, Rangers happy to be on the road. Leafs are starting the season with 8 of 10 at home. Got to take advantage when you have what you would like. And the Rangers haven't. The Leafs have to try.
Yeah, and this is going to be a difficult game for the Leafs. The Rangers are playing very structured hockey.
Yeah,
much
they're not giving up a lot
year, which is,
under Mike Sullivan.
Which is very good. That's how
kind of like what Craig Berube's tried to do in Toronto.
Defensively and goaltending, yes, they're doing that. They've still got to find ways to score goals. The power play is really, to me, I look at this team and the skill level on this team, even without Mitch Marner, who was dominant in the power play, dominant in all situations, this is still a team that's got plenty of scoring. You put your top players on the ice, for their power play not to have a goal, when you've got players like Matthews, Nyes, Tavares, Nylander, there's 4 right there who are as good as any in the league at creating offense. I really like Easton Cowan up on the top line. This is a rookie. He was an MVP, set records in the Ontario Hockey League in London, won the Memorial Cup, was a dominant player in junior. And they were trying to figure out who's going to play, who's going to replace Mitch Marner. And you're not going to replace Mitch Marner, but you need a player to play with your top talent to be able to keep the pace. And Easton Cowan, for a 20-year-old player, very mature young man, has done a very good job in the position on the number 1 spot in the right wing. It can be intimidating playing with the likes of an Austin Matthews. To me, this is a team that's going to have to find ways to generate offense, and Easton Cowan's going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, I just wish it was a right shot. He's a left shot.
Oh, yes.
But they might trade for a right shot forward, top 6 guy as the year goes on. We will see. Let's get out west and look at the Hurricanes and the Ducks in Anaheim. You can see the Canes off to a terrific start, one of only 2 undefeated teams. Stars are also 3-0. Stars in action tonight as well. Then you see Jacob Slavin missing his 2nd straight game. It's hard. I'll tell you what, give the Canes credit. This is not the guy you want out of the lineup, but he's going to miss the game tonight. And how about the Ducks power play? It started off the season way better than it was last year when they were last in the NHL. I think a big part of that is Chris Kreider.
Oh, no question about it. We saw him do it with the New York Rangers for how long? Yeah. He's big in front of the net. He's got the great hand-eye for redirects. He's fantastic on rebounds in around the front of the net. And that's how he's made his living. That's how he has become a dominant player in the National Hockey League. When he's in tight, he's so big and strong, you're not going to outmuscle him when the puck's down low. Those are plays that he's going to be able to, you just can't get under his stick. He's that big and strong. And with this young group, you've got some young, talented players on this team. A veteran like Kreider, I think, is a fantastic addition. And your power play can drive your team. It can create momentum, and that's what they've done in Anaheim. And this is going to be a challenge for Carolina. Carolina's a fast team. They like to get up and down fast. They play both ways extremely fast, and Anaheim will match that speed. Yeah. And it could come down to special teams. It could come down to power play opportunities, and Anaheim's power play is clicking.
Yeah, really good young team. Really love Cutter Gauthier off to a good start this year. That should be a fun game to watch. You're right. There's a lot of speed going each way, and the Ducks have all those terrific young players. How about the Senators? Back home tonight after losing against the Sabres last night. Got their doors blown off in that one. It was 8-4. It was the final. They're home tonight against the Seattle Kraken. And the Kraken have started off well under their new coach, Lane Lambert. 2-0-1. Pretty nice. See Jared McCann scoring in all 3. As for the Senators, this has not been a good stretch here. Losing 3 in a row, outscored 18-7. Penalty kill. I mean, Dave Reid, you might want to get the skates on because you were a great penalty killer. That is bad right there. And then, of course, the really bad news, Brady Tkachuk, their captain, out at least 4 weeks and evaluating a second opinion because if he has to have surgery, it could be double that 4 weeks. So not good news. It wasn't good last night. Tough spot, back-to-back, traveling in not far from Buffalo, but the Kraken, they've been good so far.
Yeah, and this is going to be a challenge for Ottawa. Ottawa has really struggled at the start of the season in the last few years. And the reason they got into the playoffs last year with a decent start, but in the past it's been poor goaltending, and they didn't have good goaltending against Buffalo in yesterday's game.
No, they did not.
But this team can't look at themselves and say, our captain's out, woe is me, because nobody's going to care.
Nobody cares.
This is a team that's going to have to find a way. And they did in the third period. They got 2 quick ones.
Reader, off the glass. Here it is. Off the glass, off the back, and into the net. That's not the good way you want to start the game.
No, it's no question. There's no way to start the game.
Jack
but
Quinn.
Ottawa came back in this game, and they got 2 in the third.
They did.
And they really pushed the pace. And to give Buffalo credit, they didn't collapse. But for the Ottawa Senators, this is a team that all the talk in Ottawa is about how are we going to score. And I talked about you need to score goals to get in the playoffs. Ottawa is a team that defensively under Travis Green did a great job of defending, shutting it down. Goaltending was huge for them last year. Team defense was huge, not just defensemen. I think Thomas Chabot was the first year he'd been a plus player. This is a team that defensively can play that way. This is a team that's got to find a way to score goals. And without Brady Tkachuk, who generates all sorts of offense, and if he's not scoring offense, he's creating space for other guys to do that. This is a team that needs to find a way to score. There's never an easy game in the National Hockey League. And you've got the Kraken on this road trip. They're playing well.
Yep.
They got a new coach, Lane Lambert. Everybody's trying to get extra ice time, impress their new coach. Yes, I know we're a few games past training camp, but it doesn't matter. It's still, everybody's still trying to get that little extra ice time.
Yep.
And they're clicking.
Listen, we talked about the Red Wings earlier, the Kraken, even though they've had a shorter history. It's the same story. They were terrible last year. Let's get going. Let's get off to a good start. Let's not, it's the playoffs have already started for some of these teams. Now it's Philip Grubauer tonight, so maybe a break for the Senators. His first start, Joey Decourt, has been excellent in goal for the Kraken.
I'm going to throw this one in. Ottawa and Toronto, you're about maybe a couple hundred miles apart.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of booing going on because they're going to be putting in the Blue Jay score. There's across the country, so it's Seattle.
That's right.
Sorry, Kraken.
Yeah.
The fans are going to boo you in Ottawa because the Blue Jays game is on, and they're cheering for them across the country. So it's maybe that'll help Ottawa score some goals, get the offense going.
It might not be too
like the Jays did last night.
Might not be too much longer of that. We will see. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the Chicago Blackhawks. They had a big win last night in St. Louis. Connor Bedard picking it up this year. Talking Hawks next on First Shift. How about the Hawks last night? They went into St. Louis and put the beat down on the Blues. Connor Bedard with a nice pass across to Teravainen. He scores. Bedard had 3 assists in the game. Frankie Nazar's been off to a good start. He just drives in and scores. Big win for the Chicago Blackhawks in this game in St. Louis. And, it got a little nasty during the game, and afterwards the star players talked about their bounce back.
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny watching them go out there not taking any. And, we got a lot of guys on our team that are going to stand up for each other. And honestly, I think it helps us and gets us engaged into the game.
We want to win. We don't want to win in 3 years. We want to win now, and we just got to work hard and play our game. And you'll win some, you'll lose some, but if we stick to what we are, then I think we'll be good.
There you go. So Jeff Blashill, new head coach there. They're adding even more youth to their team. Last year they had a lot of veteran guys. This year it's a little bit of a different look, some veterans, but they're giving these younger guys opportunity. And, Connor Bedard, he's in his 3rd year. All the hype in the world, right, for Connor Bedard. And, he's been a good player, but, it takes time. This is a hard league for 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, just 20 years of age. He looks a little bit different this year. I thought Mike Kelly had a really good note that he put out on Twitter. If Bedard looks like a different player, it's because he has been through the first 5 games. 8th in puck battle wins. He was 189th last year. 13th in stick checks. 190th last year. Puck moving remains elite, but that's also up from last year. And he gives a little shout out to Biz, who was on it last night. Biz is always right on it. So, hey, it's good. This is the maturation process, and he's talking about why we want to win now. Well, if you want to win now, you got to win puck battles. You got to get under guys' sticks. You got to make smarter plays. You can't have those hope plays in the neutral zone. He's figuring it out.
He is figuring it out, and very few young players come into the National Hockey League as elite as Connor Bedard did. And on a team like Chicago, he's going to get extra attention because you shut Bedard down, you have a better chance of winning. And for any young player to come into the game, they get there because they can score. They didn't necessarily, your puck battles in junior or college, you're going to win them because you're that much more skilled than the guys you're playing against. Well, you get to the National Hockey League, you're playing against the best in the world. All of a sudden, you're like, how come I'm not getting the puck when I want it? How come I'm not winning those little battles? Well, that's where you said the maturation. You start to realize and you start to learn, you start to add new parts to your game. We don't need to teach Connor Bedard how to shoot or score or make plays or stick handle or skate. He knows how to do that. He's elite at that. That's how he got there. But the National Hockey League is going to teach you how to be able to open up, how to be able to win the battles, how to be able to use your body position. He's not an overpoweringly big guy. You saw him there with Parayko. Well, he's not going to out-muscle Parayko on a puck.
But I like that he engaged with him.
But he can outsmart a guy like that. Yeah. And he can use his physique and his ability. Okay, if I'm not going to be able to go in and push this 240-pound guy out of the way, how can I get in and win that battle at least 50% of the time? And the numbers are showing that he's learned that. Those are great numbers. And that your third year in the league is that time it's like, all right, I've got to improve. Where do I need to improve? Well, he's improving on the little parts that, Mike Kelly's and the extra stats show it. You may not see it, although we did see it. He had 3 assists in the game. But that's what we're going to see on the stat sheet. We're not going to see all those little puck battles won unless you're reminded. Now, next time you're watching him and you see him come out of a battle against a bigger player, like, he's winning those. It's, players learn, he's good. You have to learn how to be good in faceoffs. Yeah. You have to learn how to win the individual one-on-one battles more often, and the elite players learn that. And it's like learning how to play defense. Yeah. You need to be in the defensive position to create offense. Of course. Joe Sakic learned it. Steve Yzerman learned it. Mike Modano learned it. All the superstars learn it. You want to win,
you learn it.
Yes, exactly. They're not being taught how to score, but they have to be taught the other parts of the game to make their all-around game better, and that's where Bedard's
And, these guys, it's like the development, too. I mean, like, he's a stronger guy now. Just 24 months later, he's stronger. He's been working out. He's been training at the NHL level. This is all part of it, so good for Connor Bedard. Now, the Hawks put up 8 last night. The Sabres said, what about us? We're going to put up 8 as well. And they needed a win in the worst way. They lost their first 3 games, and when you miss the playoffs, you haven't been in the playoffs since 1871. I mean, it's a long time. So they have to find their way back. And, to me, again, the Buffalo Sabres, the playoffs might have started for the Sabres in the preseason, to be honest with you. But a big win last night. You could see Jason Zucker, a veteran there, getting those guys pumped up. It was a good victory. They got to start to build on these things. Took advantage of Ottawa. They wish they could play Ottawa every night. They've beaten them in the last 5 times they've played them. But a good win for the Buffalo.
That was a great win for the Sabres and a win at home. This is what Buffalo needs to do. They were terrible at home last year. You've got to get your home crowd. You've got to get everybody behind you. You've got to get, do exactly what they did. They got goaltending. They had special teams. Their power play was clicking. Their penalty killing was clicking. But that started that third period where Ottawa came back. We talked about it a little earlier. That's where you get a team down, they've got to figure out to shut the door.
That's right, because they're fragile, right? The Sabres are a fragile organization.
Yeah.
I mean, they have
there's a group of fragile teams in the league, but they are
high on the list.
They are very high on the list. Yeah. No question about it. That was a must-win. I mean, you're talking about.
We talked about that yesterday. Brian Boyle said it's a must-win game.
Oh, you're talking about there's going to be changes in the organization. I mean, you might be in coaches, GMs. It's like there's going to be huge changes if this thing doesn't turn around. And they look good. Buffalo's a talented team. They got a lot. You look at them on paper. They've got a tremendously high-skilled group of players. But they've got to figure out how to bring it together.
That's right.
The great fan base, they've got to get
It'd
themselves.
It'd be great to
they've got to get themselves
We've said it for
back
many
in there.
years now. It will be wonderful to see for those fans in Western New York who love hockey so much and have supported that franchise. So let's hope this is the start of a little bit of a push here and the Sabres can get into the mix and have a really good season. We shall see. Alex Lyon has played very well in goals so far. When we come back, big night on Long Island as Matthew Schaefer is going to meet somebody that he maybe has heard of before. A couple of old Erie Otters tonight on the island. Talk about that next on First Shift. Oilers visiting the Islanders tonight in the first showdown at the NHL level, maybe anywhere, between Connor McDavid and Matthew Schaefer. You can see first overall picks, 10 years apart, both played in Erie of the OHL, and they both debuted at a very young age. Look at Matthew Schaefer, just 34 days into his 18th year. McDavid was asked about, does he have any advice for Matthew Schaefer?
First off, just a great kid. He's got a great personality, brings a lot of energy. As a player, obviously seems like he's off to a great start himself, which is good to see. So, haven't seen too much, but just the highlights, and obviously paying attention to how he's doing, and it seems like he's doing real well. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's got a great personality. I think he's going to do just fine. My only advice would be just to enjoy it, because it goes really, really fast. It really, really does.
So there you hear from Connor McDavid and Matthew Schaefer. I'll tell you what, they've thrown him into the fire. I mean, he's averaging over 23 minutes a game in the first couple. The Islanders have yet to win this season. They're 0-3. He played 26 minutes against the Jets
crazy.
on Monday.
That's
They were chasing the game. That's a lot of minutes for an 18-year-old kid.
Well, he's young. He can handle it, but still, that's a lot of minutes for anybody. The skating is his best attribute, and he's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
The Islanders are lucky they got him.
That's true.
He's going to be a lot of fun.
It's funny about McDavid because he gets asked about everybody that comes in the league that's a high pick. He was asked about, you can see here, these are all the old first overall picks since 2016, right? Matthews, Hughes, Lafreniere, Bedard, Celebrini. He was asked about Connor Bedard. Like, there's only so much advice you can give, and I think Connor at some point gets a little tired of it. Here he is talking about Bedard.
I'll answer this question for the 1,000th time. I don't get. There's not much advice that goes on around the league. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He knows what he's doing. He's got a good group of guys on the other side to help him if he ever needs it, and he seems like he's handling everything well.
Yeah, Connor gets asked all the time. I mean, at the end of the day, what can you really say? I mean.
Yeah, well, that was an interesting one because Connor, and
yeah,
I can remember
right.
always, you're going to be the next McDavid, and I can remember that. A big shout out to Erie Otters general manager Dave Brown. He was director of player personnel in 2015.
Okay.
The first overall pick of the Erie Otters was Connor McDavid, and he was the general manager of the Erie Otters now in the first overall pick.
All right, McDavid and Schaefer tonight. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.